My name's John.
Hey, John.
It's been a wonderful experience from you, Steve, contacting me, like, coming, I was a late signer up and what have you, and, I was hoping that there was room and there was, and so I interacted with you at the beginning, and you met me and we did stuff at the beginning so well, and then you signed the bell ringer, and I met the bell ringer. He was the first person I met. I probably met I think I met about 80% of the people that are here, and had some interaction during the weekend with all of them, and it was all great. And I just had a date with a nun going to church, and that's a new experience. That's a new experience for me. I think the thing I turned to is trying to integrate more spirituality into my life, and this has definitely been a good step in that direction. What triggered me was I saw something in the big book that I'd never seen before. We have a slogan, and he was doing the slogans in the earlier workshop with, one of the slogans is progress, not perfection. And from the beginning, I've heard progress, not perfection. But I was reading the big book, and right after they introduced the steps in chapter 5, they have a paragraph. No one can do these perfectly, and go on. We're human. But he ends up with the sentence that we look for spiritual progress, not spiritual perfection. And I thought to myself, gee, that's, saying progress and perfection is one thing, but saying spiritual progress and spiritual perfection is another thing. And that's really, put me on a path here that I have to really add more spirituality to my program, because I think, I really believe that you can't really understand the program unless you see it through a spiritual lens. It makes the puzzle all come together, all the pieces interlock, and everything makes sense from a spiritual sense. From a worldly sense, you can argue, argumentative, I guess you could use it some things, but from a spiritual sense, it don't make sense. And I think this has definitely helped me, and just being in touch with people, hearing some great talks and getting your mind thinking about opening doors that may have closed. It may have been open at one time. We have a fellow in one of our groups. I like this. I never heard this expression, but he says this program has a short shelf life. And you need constant reminders. When I was an alcoholic, one of the things I had to use was I had a mental mallet. And every morning I get up and I go, bong, you were an alcoholic. Bong, you were an alcoholic. So things don't stay in my head too long. I need constant reminders to remind me the right course of action. Thanks.
Thanks, John.